Hello. Hey everyone. This is the first time that I'm doing a live video, so I hope I am doing this right. I thought we could have a chit chat because it's been 3 weeks that I haven't uploaded a video, and I promised you guys that I would be more consistent. Um, so I thought, okay, since I can't do a sit down, I don't have time to do a sit down, I may as well interact with you guys. So it's the first time that I'm doing a live video, like I mentioned. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but I'll just go along with it and see how it goes. For those who are new here, my name is Linda Tina. I am a Ugandan from Uganda, East Africa, living in Italy, Milan. And I have lived in Italy for 7 years now. I speak Italian, decent Italian, but not very good, at least not as much as I feel I should speak, but enough to go around. And I am a working mom. I work in hospitality, which I have been doing for the past year and a half. What else? Basically, that's a little introduction. So if you have any questions for me, this could be a good time for me to answer them live. I see there are 5 people watching, but I don't know who is watching. If you want to leave me a comment, that will be great so I can check them out. I don't even know how to do that. So guys, bear with me while I find my way around this thing. Okay. While I find my way around the whole, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so this is where you see the messages. Okay, perfect. So in today's video, I also thought I could talk a little about my life in Italy, what it was like settling in. I've had people ask me about this, and just being a Black woman living in Italy. I will start by telling you that moving to Italy was exciting. It was very nice. In the beginning, it was just excitement, and that's all excitement and being in a new environment. But as time went on, things got a little difficult, like, settling in. It's different when you visit a country and when you're new to a country that has a different setup. In the beginning, it can be really exciting because, everything is new and exciting. But then living in a country, actually living, and it's not just visiting for a moment, is a whole different story. So, just to take you back a little bit about how I moved to Italy, um, I met my husband, who is Italian, in Uganda. And then after 2 years of long distance relationship, so I was living in Uganda, he was living here, and we were doing the whole long distance thing. We decided that one of us needs to move. And it was easier for me to move because he was more established and more settled here. I had just finished university, so I was more, it was more I was more flexible. It was easier for me to move. And so I moved. So first of all, you need to remember that I speak English and other dialects from Uganda, and those are my languages. Italy, they speak Italian, obviously, and it's the main language. So the first thing that was really a problem was the language barrier. I had to go with my husband everywhere, to the gynecologist, to any office to process any documents. I had to go with my husband, and that made me feel a little not independent, and I am a very independent person, even personality wise. So needing to depend on someone to even go to a hospital was something that made me feel a little meh. So that was the first challenge. And then next was being away from family and not having my circle, my friends, my people, that was really hard. So I have a very close family. We all live all over the world, but back home I still have my siblings there, my cousins, my aunties. And then I am a person who enjoys to take time out with my friends and talk to my friends and hang out with them. I didn't have that when I moved to Italy. So that was another challenge, finding my space and finding my circle, finding my people, and being away from home, being away from the familiarity of things, you know. Anyone who has moved to a different country would understand that. So that was hard. And then with time, I joined a language school. I remember my first year, I joined a language school, and that was very, very helpful. If someone is planning to move to a new country, I would highly recommend that you join a language school. That was very helpful. So I joined a language school. I met people, I met friends, many of which are still my friends now. And because most people in that class, in that language class, were people who are facing the same struggles as I am, moving to a new country, it made it easier to connect. So it was easier for me to make friends with them and connect with them and be understood than making friends with the locals. And I know most times people advise that you should make friends with the locals, which is true. You should make friends with the locals so that you learn the language and then they can take you around, you know. But if you're spending time with foreigners like you, then no one is teaching the other something about the country itself. But anyway, it was helpful to spend time with these people. And after I learned the language, it got easier. It got easier, I must say, because then I could go around on my own and I felt more secure being on my own. Um, the best thing about Italy was that I live in the center. I live in Milan, which makes it a bit easier because obviously when you live out of the main cities, people are more closed-minded, and there are less foreign people to get in touch with. So you feel more alone. So living in Milan helped, and like I said, when I learned the language, that was very helpful. The other thing was putting myself out there. So most times when you move to a place and you feel scared, you feel insecure, it feels unfamiliar, you'll try to stay indoors. But I was putting myself out there. So what I did is I joined groups of international people living in Milan. I joined groups of language exchange people. I joined groups of all sorts of groups. Oh, when I had my son, my firstborn, I joined a group of international moms living in Milan. So I joined all these groups and I put myself out there so that I can at least, you know, meet people and not feel so closed in and so alone. And that was very helpful. Moving forward, um, everything got better. So I got to meet people. I started working. People have always asked me about the work environment. So I've been lucky so far. My work environment has been fantastic. People are great. Finding a job in Italy is not very easy. Also, depending on what kind of job you're looking for, the salaries are pretty low. So that's also another issue. I tried to find jobs in what I studied. So I did international business, which is a flexible course. I can do just about anything. But in the end, I did, and I ended up in hospitality after doing also some teaching. So you need to understand that when you move to a new country, things may not work exactly as they were working in your country. You may not be able to work in the fields that you are working in. You need to start afresh most times. You need to be flexible and be ready to start afresh and then start from there and move forward, move ahead. And that's exactly what I am still doing as I speak. Answering a few questions, people have asked me about racism in Italy and, you know, what it's like to be a black woman. I made a video about that when I just started my channel, if you want to go and check it out. But I'll talk about it in an updated video, this one. I personally haven't faced racism in Italy, if I'm to be very honest. I haven't. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist because I put up a video about the things I love about Italy and the things I don't love about Italy, the things I don't like so much about Italy. And the video that I made about things I don't love so much about Italy got so much attention, and not the good kind. So people were so mad. And I understand, because Italians are very patriotic and they're very passionate and very, they love their country so much. So I can see how someone would be mad if someone is saying things they don't like about their country and they're not from that country. Of course, the first thing that they were saying is that go away, go back to your country. But minus that, I got very many negative comments there, and some of them they went directly to my race, black monkey or black person or whatever. So yes, they are racists everywhere in the world, and so they are racists here in Italy. But I've personally not had any direct racial problems. One, because I live in Milan, which is a big city, and they see many people, foreigners. But I will say that I know people who have gone through really harsh things and really bad experiences right here in Italy and even here in Milan. I will not say racism exists or doesn't exist in Italy or in Milan, where I live. But I will tell you that one thing I have seen that exists so much here, especially in Milan, is classism. So I feel like Italians are more classist, is that the word? And even more ignorant, not in a negative type of way. The word, I'm using the word ignorant, but not in a negative type of way. Ignorant in the sense that they do not know about many of them do not know about many cultures, or are not open to many cultures that are not their own, or that are not close to, Italy, if I can put it that way. So this makes them more curious about people who are not from their country, or more close to the people who are not from their country. And not only black people, I see people from other countries, like people from Romania or whatever, that get a little bit of this what should I call it? They don't let you in so much until they understand. For example, you'll know that Italians are very particular about their food. So they will not be very open to trying out new foods that they don't know about. So that's the kind of thing that I see they have with foreigners, more than racism. Then, I mean, everyone has their own experience. So I'm really speaking, I'll emphasize that I'm speaking from my experience. I have also realized that Italians will kind of treat you depending on your appearance and how you present yourself. I'll give you an example. When I go out to drop my kids, say, to school early in the morning, and I've had a rough night and I've not yet, put myself together, so I just put on my tracks and just a shirt and walk out, I'll get a different reception compared to when I go out all made up with, my hair laid well and my, looking a certain type of way, if that makes sense to you. So I realized that Italians will also treat you depending on how you present yourself. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just what it is, especially here in Milan, where people are so obsessed with how they look. Italians are very obsessed with how they look, and you need to look a particular way. It makes it a bit difficult to fit in if you do not present yourself in a certain kind of way. And so that is something I've realized here. You need to look a specific type of way. And I think that's classism. They treat you depending on what they think your status is, or what they think your class, your level, your standard is, which I think is really, crazy. But this happens even back where I come from. People with a certain kind of appearance are going to be treated differently, and they're going to be treated maybe better, if I can say that. And basically, that has been my experience in Italy. That has been my experience in Italy. Also, many Italians have told me that the first women that they saw here, which is like 50 years ago, the first black women, I mean, did a lot of prostitution. And so for some Italians, for many Italians, when they see a black woman, the first thing that comes to their mind is, maybe if I offered her some money, she will go home with me and, have a good time. I have had men stop me. It has happened to me twice. The first time it happened to me, well, usually it happens to me like I have guys following me around. Like I'll be walking on the street wearing decently, like just wearing normal clothes, and I'll have a car following me and asking me, "Oh, hi, how are you?" I don't know if this happens to other people who are not black women as much as it happens to me, but this has happened to me several times. But then the second time that it happened, I was with my sister, so we went for drinks, and then on our way back home, we were wearing decently. It was broad daylight. I mean, it was the summer, so the sun was still up. And the guy asked us, "Cuánto, ma cuánto?" Meaning how much? I was like, oh my God. They actually literally stopped and asked us, so how much would it be? How much would it be? My sister who doesn't live here was like, what the hell is going on here? How and why are they asking us how much it is to take us home? So yeah, that has happened to me, and that was offensive. When it comes to the jobs, do they pick out will they treat you differently? At my workplace, they don't treat me differently depending from the color of my skin. I'll be honest with you, but I've had that in some work environments that has happened. I need to find people who have had this kind of experiences to be able to speak for themselves, because I am speaking for myself. Oh, rotten egg. Hi, what's up? How are you? Oh, let me read some comments. The comments pop up, but I don't know why I can't see them. Okay, keeping up with Quebecer. Hi, girl. It's actually sad that they perceive black women like this. Maybe it was that way 50 years ago. I know. You're right. You're really right. It is sad that this is the picture they have in mind. Also, for some people, it's just a fetish. And I don't want to be anyone's fetish. It's a fetish for some people. They've had stories about what black women can be like in bed, what they can do. And so some of them just, want to try you. I've had people say, wow, I've never been with a black woman. Can I get with you? And I'm like, really? So, yeah, it is sad. But listen, I'll tell you one thing. I am one person. If you know me personally, um, I don't like to pull out the racist card immediately unless someone comes directly to me. But if you come directly and be funny about it just because I'm a black woman, I'm gonna give it back to you. But most times when people come to me and they ask me things about Africa, about being black, that are genuinely honest, ignorant questions, or they are genuinely curious, I am quick to educate them. I am not one person who's gonna come out, oh, how dare you ask me that? No, I've had people ask me the silliest questions. Now I'll tell you something. This is not even about Italians or non-Italians, it's just about, people who don't know so much about black people, maybe. So being that since I work in hospitality, I meet so many people from different walks of the world, or the world, from different parts, from different walks of life, I meant, from different parts of the world. And people ask me the craziest questions. People have asked me about my hair. Well, I wear extensions, so valid questions. But people have asked me if I get burned by the sun. People have asked me, how come you feel hot and yet you're from Africa? Like being from Africa means I'm supposed to be immune to the sun or something. People have asked me if in Africa we have internet connection, if we have cars that can take you around. They ask me if they can see the animals on the street, and some of them are genuinely asking. They've not been to Africa. They've not even been out of their city. So I am quick to educate them. If you're not asking me in a way to offend me, I'm gonna educate you, and I'm going to do it very politely, and you're gonna learn something. So people have asked me so much about how come I speak English. Oh, you speak English. These are not just Italians. I've had people from all parts of the world when they come to my workplace. I work in a hotel. They ask me, "Oh wow, you speak English and you speak English and you're from where are you from again? I'm from Uganda. Oh, and you speak English? I always find that funny. Wait, someone's commenting. There are questions I'll not answer about people. Black people smell. You will get. You will get. This is from Carol. Carol, I'll not answer when people ask me if black people smell. Okay, yeah. So I think some of this is also common sense. You're not gonna come to a person and ask them, "Oh, is it true that people like you smell?" Of course, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Well, maybe I'm not gonna punch you, but I'm gonna curse you. No, I mean questions that someone is genuinely asking out of ignorance. People ask me, what happens when you stay in the sun for long, like we do, like when you sunbathe? What happens? And I tell them, my skin gets darker, and then I get sunburnt as well. I wear sunscreen. And when people ask me, "Oh, how come you don't you're feeling hot yet you're from us from Africa?" I'll tell them, "Well, because the heat in Africa is not as humid as it is here. So in the summers here, I suffer probably more than all of you. I'm from a hot country, but it's a different kind of heat. And even if I'm from a warm country, even in my country in Uganda, I suffer the heat. I suffer from the heat. So yeah, when they ask me things like, how come you speak English? I tell them, listen, I'm from Uganda. It's an ex-British colony. And so we speak English. It's our first language. It's our national language. I've spoken English since I was a child. It's the language that I know probably more than even my dialect, because then you spend a lot of time at school and it becomes more natural for you. So for me, English is mother tongue. And I tell them that, and they're like, "Oh, I thought maybe you speak French." And then I tell them, no, there are countries that were colonized by France, by other countries, Portugal. There are countries that speak Portugal. And so they speak those languages. And that's how I speak English. And many other questions. People will ask some really funny things. And then some people make jokes. Now, some jokes I don't find funny. Some people make jokes. For example, I'm a little bored from hearing this joke about, "Oh, it's summertime, we're all gonna go to the sea and we're gonna get tan and we're all gonna be like Linda, we're gonna look like Linda." I don't see why they think that's funny. "Oh, I'm so tan, I'm now darker than you." For them that's a joke, but I don't think it's really that funny. Yeah. So basically, guys, that is my experience in Italy about racism. And yeah, Italy, people are not a bit, people are close-minded compared to some other countries that I've visited. I will have to say that. Obviously, I've been to London so many times and for long periods of time. So in London, I've had a different experience, but also because in London, they started seeing immigrants a long time ago. So they're more used to it compared to Italy. And I guess that's the explanation there. What else can I talk about living in Italy? Oh, people have asked me what it's like being married to an Italian. What is it like being married to an Italian? First of all, they're human beings. Italian, German, American, whatever. They're all human beings, just like we are. Cara says Italians are only learning about diversity now. That's very true. That's very true. Italians are only learning about diversity now. That's very true. That's very true. Created by Kels. Hey, Linda. Oh, hi. That's my friend Kelvin. He's also a YouTuber. Leave your link in the comment section so these guys can follow your wonderful videos. People have asked me, so I was talking about being married to an Italian. It's just like being married to any other human being. But I'll tell you a few things. One, Italians are very particular about their food. So you're probably not going to impress an Italian so much with food from other parts of the world. My husband is not one who's very particular about food, but I know that he thinks that Italian food is the best thing that ever happened to the world. So he eats food from my country, from Uganda. He loves the chapati. So chapati is a sort of let's call it bread. It's a sort of bread that's made with the flour and oil, and we love it, and he loves it too. He loves my stews. When I make the beef stews, the chicken stews, he loves them. What else? But when we travel abroad, I realized that he's always looking out for Italian foods. After a while, he gets bored with other foods. Keeping up with the Quebecer is asking me what's my favorite Italian meal. It used to be lasagna, and then I moved to Italy and I got over it. So right now I'll say this is not really Italian food, but seafood, like when we go to the sea, the way they do their whole seafood. Hey Gloria, hey girl. They do the way they do their seafood pasta and the risotto with seafood. Oh, and I like the risotto alla milanese. That is risotto traditionally from Milan. It has it's called yellow rice. It's amazing. My husband makes the best. So that would be my favorite Italian food. Um, yeah, so let's go back to being married to an Italian. Italians are also very particular about their style, but I realize those are just stereotypes as well, because not all of them are very particular about style and how they look. But yeah, there are things that you don't wear in Italy because people will look at you and say, you don't wear that. For example, they don't wear white socks. My husband told me, oh, you don't wear white socks. And I'm like, oh yeah, really? For men. Being married to an Italian. So I'll give you the stereotypes that I've seen with other people, because my husband doesn't really, he's not your typical Italian guy, honestly. But let me see. Let's see. Being married to an Italian. Oh, Italian men are very close to their mothers. So if his mother doesn't like you so much, you can get parking. No, I'm just kidding. But they're very close to their mothers. They're very close to their families in general. They're very, they usually have very tight knit families. Italian, being married to an Italian, they're very loud, which is very okay with me because I'm from Uganda, I'm from Africa, and usually we are loud. So me and them, we blend fun. They're fun people. They're mostly, ready to have a good time all the time. So that's also something else. I guess that's it about being married to an Italian. What other questions do I usually get asked? I don't know. You guys who are watching can ask me something before I close this video. Oh wow, it's been 27 minutes. So after 30 minutes, I guess I'll say bye to you guys. It's been nice trying this. I guess I'll try and do this more often because it gives me a chance to, interact with you and, share with you in the moment, other than, having a planned video or sit down video. So this is great. This is nice. I will also tell you, what advice would I give someone moving to Italy? I've had people ask me that. So one, I'll tell you, if you're planning to move to Italy, you have to be ready to learn the language. You must be ready to learn the language, because without the language, you won't be able to do much. You must have an open mind. Things in Italy work a little different. And by different, I mean there is bureaucracy. The culture is obviously different depending on where you're coming from. So you need to come with an open mind. But I think that goes for every place. If you're moving to a new country, you must have an open mind. If you don't have an open mind, you are not going to be able to, to be able to integrate. Yeah. And the other thing that I can tell you is, what else about Italy, is to make friends with Italians and spend time with them. I think that's one of the mistakes I made. I spent so much time with foreigners and people who spoke English, and that made me take a little longer time to learn Italian and to integrate more. So I guess when you spend more time with Italians, you get to understand them more. You get to be more immersed with into the culture. So yeah, that would be my advice. Someone asked me if I can speak a little bit of Italian. They want to hear me speaking Italian. I think I'll soon make a video in Italian. But for now, what do you want me to say in Italian? I can introduce myself in Italian. So, mi chiamo Linda e sono una mamma, ho due bambini, due figli. Uno si chiama Liam. Say I love you in Italian. Oh, someone is telling me to say I love you in Italian. Ti voglio tanto bene, ti voglio bene. My kids, oh, i miei figli si chiamano Liam e Alexa. Liam, Alexa, do you want to come and say hi? Lavoro in un albergo. Come and say hi to the camera. Any differences that you had to cope with, things you found different compared to your country? This is from Joan. Okay, Joan, I'm going to answer that. I'm just calling Liam to come and say hi. Liam, hey, say ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. So this is Liam. Liam, how old are you? How old are you?
6.
6. And what is your favorite food?
Passiamo pomodoro.
Pasta pomodoro. Hey Liam, someone is saying hi. He's looking down because he wants to play with his iPad. He's obsessed with this. Yeah? You're obsessed with the iPad. So Liam, just say hi to everyone and then you can Alexa, I'll call Alexa as well to say hi. Anne Gludworth, give me a shout out. Hi Anne Gludworth, how are you? How are you doing? Everybody, could you check out Anne Gludworth? Thank you for watching. Alexa, Alexandra, come and say hi to the people here. Liam, just a minute. Fat B, hi Tina, hi. Come and say hi. Liam, you wanna go back and watch TV? Okay. And then I'm gonna introduce you to Alexandra. Hi. Hi, it's looking messy. And this is Alexandra. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, but they're watching you. They're watching you. Say hi. Don't pretend to be shy. Say hi. Say hello. Everyone's watching. Say hi. No, well, you can't see them, but they're watching. Okay, say hi. Just wave. Alexandra, wave. Just wave. They're seeing you. Trust me, they're seeing you. Well, you can't see them, but you see these little words here? Those are people typing, and those are the people who are watching you. She's trying to see who's watching. Okay, so guys, Alexa thinks it's crazy that I'm talking to a camera, and she's probably wondering where everyone is. Come on, say hi. They're watching. You can't see them, but they're watching. My friends. They're my friends on YouTube. Well, there's many of them. Okay, you can go back and watch TV. Okay. Okay, guys. I think I need to go because my battery is 1